We back. It's the Rich and Hard Podcast. It's your host that do the most, Munchie B, and today we got my man Wade from the UK. He tapped in with us with Rich and Hard, showing love. He been making a big splash on these YouTube streets with the documentaries going viral. Everybody mess with him. My boy Trapl, what's the deal?
Hey, I appreciate you having me, man. It feels good to be here in LA. Tapped in with Big Munchie B, man. I'm excited to get into it.
Oh, yeah. Hey, we set it off camera, but I ain't wanted you to give me the names then. But give me now. Put me up on. Give me five UK rappers I could log in with after I leave here and throw some music on. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't even up on the UK hip hop scene. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, hell yeah, man. There's a lot of good artists coming out of the UK that I would recommend, man. One of my favorites is a guy called Trapl. He's like, you know, he's about the trapping, right? He kind of raps on a lot of UK drill beats, but he talks a lot about trapping, drug dealing. But the way he does it, the way he mixes up the metaphors and his lyrics, they're just on another level. So Trapl, definitely someone to check out. Another rapper that I'd recommend is called Heady One. He's dope. He's from an area called Tottenham. He comes from a estate, like we call like what you would call a hood, we call like an estate. It's like I guess like a project. But he's from a very notorious spot called Broadwater Farm. Heady One, he's hard, really like with the street stuff. You know, he had a couple of really famous cases in the UK. He's kind of, you know, dealing with incarceration, but his lyrics and the way he paints a picture about his life and the lifestyle he lived, Heady One, super hard. For the more party kind of drill, there's a guy called Russ Millions. He is dope when it comes to the like party gangster music that you can dance to. He's one of the only rappers that actually had a #1 hit in the UK off of drill music. Russ Millions, definitely someone to check out. As far as like the real grimy, tough gangster murder shit, there's a guy called Suspect from a crew called Active Gang. You know, he's unfortunately serving, I think, 23 years for a murder case that he caught. He's a crazy guy, incredible bars, super rapid, fast delivery when it comes to the rapping. And he had a crazy case where he caught a murder charge. He actually fled to Kenya in Africa. He hid out in Kenya for like 2 years and just recorded music, ran it up. But then eventually the authorities actually caught him in Kenya, brought him back to the UK and put him on trial. So he's...
What was the name?
Suspect.
Yeah,
he hard. And then you said 5, right? So one more. I would say another UK rapper. I'm gonna hit you with like a curveball. I would say there's a dope rapper by the name of Morrison. He's a white guy, but he's known for actually robbing weed grow houses. His thing is all about robbing grows. He's got this song called Crowbar in My Bag. It's all about using the crowbar to crack open a grow house and stealing everyone's crops. So he's a crazy rapper. He's got a crazy backstory. He's had some really serious cases, but he's dope. And that would be my 5. There's unlimited UK rappers, man. I could put you onto so many.
They're gonna be mad at you. They're like, oh no, you really with say you left.
There's a couple people. Tell you what, let me add a couple more names, man. You got if you
give me a female though.
Ooh, a female UK rapper. Man, that's tough. I'm trying to think what females we got that are actually hard.
Ain't no females out there making no noise.
Man, I'm gonna get in trouble, man, if I don't say somebody. Oh, is a female rapper in the UK? I don't know.
They go get you.
I feel like the female rappers in the US are really running it up. I feel like we're a little bit behind in that regard. I mean, there's girls that have been doing their thing. Like there's a girl called Stefflon Don. It's not necessarily what I'd be listening to, but she's one of the like top people when it comes to like UK female rappers. She had a project out recently. Man, I swear there's another chick that's like, I mean, I would say Stefflon Don's like the first person that comes to mind. Like she's probably really waving the flag for like the females when it comes to like, it's not necessarily like street music, but she's kind of tapped in with a lot of the kind of gangster kind of guys, and like she makes dope music, so she's an option. But the girls ain't really got it like they got it over here, man. Female rappers are killing it in the US. I feel like you guys are on another level with the female rappers.
And the lane should be wide open out there in the UK for the females though, because you ain't really got no competition. You know what I'm saying?
You know what it is though? I think a lot of the females in the UK, it's like, I don't know. I feel like the drill and the rap scene is very aggressive. And you know, a lot of girls they're going more the singing route, the pop, the R&B route.
Right.
You know, there ain't too many female rappers that I can think of, but man, they're gonna get on me in the comments, man. So apologies to all the female, all the ladies in the UK that I forgot, man. But yeah, no, the guys really got it in the UK right now. But shit, man.
You said Suspect serving how long?
I think 23 years he's serving. But he about to drop an album, man. He just dropped a new single. You know, the big thing in the UK right now, man, there's a lot of incarcerated rappers. I don't know how they've done it, but they've worked out a way to get the right phone, the right microphone. They be recording studio quality stuff in jail now in the UK. So a lot of guys that have actually gone viral from inside, from behind the wall. There's a guy from Liverpool, which is in the north of England, called Mazza L20, and he basically blew up, signed a huge record deal, all from inside prison. He was serving 11 years and just doing freestyles inside jail, and just blew up. Now he just got released a couple months ago, and he's going right to the top. So low key, a lot of people say in the UK, man, like it's more lit to be inside right now.
So Suspect, so is he notorious out there? He got like a cool street reputation.
Oh yeah, Suspect's got a crazy reputation. I mean, so I did a video about Suspect maybe like.
I was about to ask you. You ain't knocked no doc out on him?
No, I did actually do one on him. Maybe in like I think it was February of this year, like at the start of the year. But his story's crazy, right? 'Cause he's from a crew called Active Gang. They were in a big war with another group of kind of another gang in their area. They're from an area called Camden, which is like, it's sort of on the I guess it's like, is it north? It's kind of north, sort of northeast-ish of London. It's kind of a very treacherous place. There was a big gang war that went on there, but obviously these guys are running around with knives. There's a lot of stabbings, and Suspect, basically the story goes, he caught 2 people pretty much in a row. Him and his boys killed 2 people. It was serious, pretty serious stabbings. One of the stories they say, it's very gruesome. They say that he had a giant knife and put it all the way through the guy's chest and it came out of his back. He raps about that a lot in his lyrics. And he caught these 2 cases, but he managed to get out of the country. He flew to France and then on to Kenya before the feds could actually catch up with him. So like 2 or 3 of his Codys, they got caught trying to get out of the country, but he made it out. But the crazy thing was, he was like posting a lot. When he got to Kenya, he was making music. He kind of got a little comfortable, started posting pictures, and then people started to work out where he was. Like there was a famous post on Reddit where he posted a picture of himself in a kitchen, and people start commenting like, "Yo, I think that's Kenya. Like my auntie lives in Kenya. I see the oven, I see the tiles, I see the plugs on the wall. That's looking like Kenya." And then within a few months, they'd caught up with him because people worked out where he was, and they brought him back to the UK, man, and put him on trial.
Internet got him locked up. He should have
Low key
posting shit. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's wild, man. But he's a very talented rapper, man. And in a lot of ways, it's very sad because he got caught up real deep in the streets from a very, very young age. He went missing when he was like 14. In the UK, we got this thing called county lines, where it's like a lot of the drug operations. It's sort of like London's like the biggest city. A lot of the drugs kind of get distributed around the country, and they'll kind of send young G's up to like small towns and villages to go and trap. And it's called like county lines. So they'll be getting young guys and shipping them off to different parts of the country to go and trap. And then the London gangsters will kind of set up all these different networks and these operations, and that's how they end up making quite a lot of money, because they set up these little lines in different spots. But obviously a lot of young kids get caught up in that. They get shipped all around the country and kind of exploited, really.
So there's gangs everywhere, but you said active gang, so it ain't no Bloods and Crips out there though. It's just gangs though, right?
No, we got Bloods and Crips,
Oh, for real?
We got Bloods and Crips. You know what it is? It's not like it is here with the Bloods and Crips, but like there's a lot of gangs in the UK that have kind of adopted the Blood or the Crip iconography, like the colors and the style, and that's kind of caught on. So like that guy Heady One I was talking about from Broadwater Farm, like his crew is called OFB, the original Farm Boys, but they rep red. But their ops, they actually have the ops actually under the green flag, because their ops are from an area called Wood Green and Edmonton Green. So it's actually like the Bloods versus the Greens in North London, in Tottenham, where that beef is. And then like you got another. There's been a couple of Blood and Crip sets down south. Also in West London, in like Ladbroke Grove, you got a group called CGM, and they bang Crip. But they just rock the blue. It's like it's kind of a style thing, but it's kind of caught on over the years. So there's a few different sets around London that kind of rep the Blood and the Crip thing. But I see these guys kind of going viral in some of the different spots. Like some of the Americans kind of make fun of it, like, oh, you got Crips in the UK, but they do really be cripping over there, man.
Shit, I don't make fun of it. I think it's real niggas everywhere.
Real talk, man. No, like
for real.
There's a lot going on, man, and there's been a few like little wars between like Blood and Crip sets in London and stuff. It's less of a big thing now. Like 15, 20 years ago, it was a much bigger thing. I think it was like it's the Ladbroke Grove Bloods.
How long it be taking you to put together these docs you be putting up?
Man, a long ass time, bro. A long time. Like, for a while, I would say it would take me at least a month. Like often what would happen is like I'd spend a month researching and writing, and then we would spend a month editing. So like, we can kind of turn stuff around in like 2 months, but it'd be like I'll write something and then the editor's editing the last video, and then we put that out, and then I'll finish writing it, record it, and then they start editing it. I start writing the next one. But we're trying to speed stuff up at the moment. Like we've been trying to hire more people, grow the team and stuff like that. But it takes a lot of time, man. It can take months. When I did the 6-hour Youngboy video, I think I worked on that for 3 months straight. Nothing but Youngboy.
Man, that shit long. I never even started that one. I'm like, this shit too long. I gotta everything. But my boy checked it out though. He F with it with the NBA young one.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a huge Youngboy fan, man. So I went crazy with that one. I went 6 hours, but it's not for everyone. If you're not a Youngboy fan, you're not trying to hear him talk for 6 hours, you know.
And he got himself locked back up on that shit crazy.
Yeah, man, it's messed up. I'm such a fan of Youngboy, man. You know, it hurts my heart to see him incarcerated again. But at the same time, man, he got wrapped up in a lot of stuff, and unfortunately, it went the way it went. But hopefully, he can. I think he's about to take a plea. Hopefully, he can get a decent sentence. But I feel like the police in Baton Rouge and beyond they just got it out for Youngboy. You know what I mean? They're just trying to get him on anything. So it's unfortunate, but he's probably going to be getting pressed by the cops for the rest of his life. Really, they've been on him for years, and it's very unfortunate, man. But I'm a big fan of his.
So were you from in the UK? Where you was raised? Is that somebody hood?
Nah. So this is the thing, man. I grew up in a very small town, like in the south of England. You'd have never heard of it. It's an area called Bognor Regis. It's like a small seaside town, like by the beach, but it's dead. It's just like a tiny town. But the interesting thing is, I never interacted with it. I would never say that I grew up in the hood or anything like that. But like I was saying to you before with the county lines, where like the drug dealers in London be sending young G's to go and take over little areas and villages, like a lot of the famous rappers, that are drill rappers and stuff, like a few of those guys have caught cases coming to my hometown, coming there to set up the sort of dope dealing operations. But it's a small town, but people be trapping, but they don't really have gangs. But like the gangs from London kind of get active in the small towns and stuff like that,
So what got you interested in doing these docs? Like, you didn't go to school for like broadcasting, journalism, none of that? You just
Nah, that's the thing, man. I've just always been a huge fan of hip hop. Like when I was growing up, I had 2 older brothers. I just got obsessed with the music, man. I was listening to Jay-Z, Nas, Biggie, Eminem, just DMX, just growing up listening to the music my older brothers were into. 50 Cent, like, and I just slowly got really, really interested in the stories. I would read any book that I could, biographies of rappers, like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of good examples, like Prodigy and Mobb Deep had a crazy biography, Eminem had a couple good biographies. I would just want to learn everything I could about hip hop and the history and the songs, and I would just break down all the lyrics. Sometimes you used to get the booklet of the CD when it had the lyrics. I would just read the lyrics and just analyze and just break down everything, and I just got obsessed with hip hop. And I started making video content. I did a whole bunch of different stuff. I used to do stand-up comedy. I'd film sketches. I would film music videos for local rappers. And eventually I kind of started making my own stuff, talking about the hip-hop stories and the rappers that I was interested in. And, I was blessed for that to kind of take off in the way that it did. But the gangster stuff didn't come until a little bit later. Like I say to people, it's like I first really took off in like 2019. I was doing more hip-hop beefs. Rick Ross versus 50 Cent, the 6ix9ine beefs. And I feel like in 2020, I don't know, the music just got a little bit more gangster, like drill music took off. You had people like King Von, rappers coming out of Chicago, Lil Durk. I feel like they made the gang stuff way more front and center. And I think that, I kind of had to adapt my platform to talk more about that stuff because I was into the drill music. I was listening to it. I was trying to understand the stories. So, I started breaking down the stories behind that music. And obviously that went huge. I guess millions of people really want to know what's going on behind drill music. And I ended up in a position, but that was never the plan. I was always just a rap fan, started breaking down rap beefs, and then kind of it just went where it went.
If I ain't mistaken, I think King Von, that's the, you got the most numbers on that one, right?
Yeah, man. I can't remember the numbers on it, but it's over 10 million views. It's crazy, man. I never would have expected it to go to a big, to be honest.
Hold on. Don't you got King Von tatted, right?
I got King Von tatted, yeah, man.
Man, what made you do that?
You know what's crazy, man? It's a funny story because people keep saying, yo, it's dick riding, like you're glazing. But you know what it is? Like I had a tattoo that I had a shit tattoo that I wanted covered up. I wanted to put something over it. I wanted to get something good. And I was just going back and forth with the tattoo artist, like, what should I get? I need to get something that means a lot to me. And obviously the Von thing was, that's been like the biggest moment of my career. I'm also a huge fan of Von, man. I listen to his music all the time. I'm fanatic about Von. Like, people have asked me before, are you obsessed with King Von? And like, low-key, I guess I kind of am. Like, I made the documentary. You've got to be obsessed to make a 3-hour documentary about a dude, right? So in the end, I was just like, man, Von's such a big part of my story, a part of my life. I'm a big fan. I was like, let me just get the Von tattoo. We mocked up how it would look. I thought it looked fire, and I said, let's do it, man. Let's get the Von tat. But it was very controversial, man. They ruffled a few feathers.
Okay, I run across a couple these YouTubers. They put together these little short docs or whatever. But as far as the Draco thing, you was like more accurate. You look like a lot of you could tell people just like gather this from this YouTube this video and just like, but it seemed like you knew a little bit more than the average. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, he bringing up certain incidents. I'm like, this shit crazy.
Yeah, you know what's interesting with that, man? Obviously, you know, I did the Draco story. I was a fan of his. I know that you guys, you know, obviously didn't get along, but, you know, I was a big fan of his, a fan of the music. And like when I approach a project, man, I'm really just, even as a fan, I'm just trying to find out everything there is about a topic, you know, and especially when it comes to rap beefs, back and forths. Obviously, as part of that Draco story, you know, you went back and forth with him musically a few times. You know, you dropped some disses, he made some references, and for me, I'm really just trying to get all the information. You know, every back and forth, every diss, every line, every sneak diss. You know, my goal is really to just put everything into one video so that people can learn everything. Like the idea is like you could have never heard of Draco in your life. You put that video on and you learn everything about the whole area, the history, the beef, all of his ops, all of his friends, all of his music. That was my approach with that story, man. But you know, I'm glad that we're tapped in, man, because I was worried that maybe I'd offended you with anything I'd put in that video or anything like that. But I'm glad you said it was, you know, mostly accurate.
No. It was mostly accurate. Hold on. I came up in there. You said, let me see, cause it was a minute ago when I checked.
You guys had a lot of diss songs back and forth, right? Because I tried to make sure I kind of broke down all of your responses in the video too, right? Which I felt like that was something a lot of people maybe overlooked, the back and forth, and like some of the songs that you'd released and stuff like that. So you know, when I covered it, I wanted to make sure like I showed both sides. You know, if he said something, you clapping back and actually showing that you know it wasn't a one-sided thing.
So, what's your boy name? I believe did you do one on a dude from Canada?
Toronto, yeah, won top 5 and Presser and them.
Yeah, our top 5.
Top 5, yeah, he's just come out, man.
Yeah, he been talking greasy.
Man, he's been in my DMs, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to top 5, man. We're trying to get an interview going or something.
Yeah, I never heard of him till he just came out from jail.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. Okay. But I gotta check out your doc on him. Then you said you did one on him, right?
Yeah. I can break down the whole story of him, man. But he's got a crazy story because like he's just been active in Toronto and in Canada for years, man. Like he was rapping. I think maybe he was like 16 or 17. He had this song called "Shirt Off Shorty," where he's like rapping with his shirt off. He's like shirt off on any block, and like Drake was rocking with him way back, like when he first started. And it's just crazy to see the history over damn near like 10 years of him kind of, you know, becoming this demon. There were a couple of murder cases that, you know, his name was attached to in Toronto. He ended up going on the run. You know, that murder case that he just beat, he basically went on the run from those charges and was hiding out in LA for damn near like a year or something. And the craziest thing about his story, man, is he was going live with like people like academics and actually trolling the mayor of Toronto. You know, the mayor was like speaking out saying we got to catch these guys, and you know it's not right that they're on the run, and he was trolling him. He was saying, you know, F John Tory, like screw the mayor, all of this stuff, like really getting disrespectful with it. So the fact that they caught him in LA, shipped him back to Toronto, and he still beat the case, it's wild.
I wonder, did he have any co-defendants on that case?
I think he did. I think there was another guy that was implicated in it, but because that case didn't happen until after I did the video, so I didn't follow up on like every detail with it. But I think there was another co-defendant on the case, but I think he was the main person that they were trying to charge. But obviously, you know, the charges ended up getting dropped in the end. They said that there's not enough evidence. You know, that apparently the prosecutors were really just trying to use his music and his social media to prove the crime, and apparently that wasn't enough, so they let him go. But it's actually crazy, you know. He's hit the road running, and he's back out, you know, disrespecting people and going crazy with it. So hopefully it doesn't spiral out of control.
He part of OVO though, right? Is that Drake artist?
I don't know if he's officially a part of OVO, but like he be hopping on interviews saying that he's Drake's shooter. Apparently Drake paid for his lawyer, and you know Drake used to give him a lot of love back in the day. So I don't know if he's officially on OVO, but he reps OVO. He bangs OVO.
So the song you heard from him, it was cool, because I ain't never heard his music at all.
I like his music, man. He's got a couple songs like that I like. He's got this song called Two Cases that's hard. He's got another song where he's got Two Cases. Oh man, what's the other song? He's got this like real jazzy song. It's like your crew full of rats and shit. We be out here smack. I can't remember the name of the song, but he got some hard song. What is that song called?
You gonna leave me? I'm gonna leave here.
Send you some tunes, man. I can send you a playlist. I got a Toronto playlist I can send you.
Okay. 'Cause I'm gonna leave here, kind of look into some of these people's music.
Yeah, man, they're hard.
Especially Suspect. I'm gonna double back on Suspect.
100%. Suspect got some hard songs. It's super fast, like high tempo, high energy, like Suspect stuff, man. It's hitting. You could play that through a good sound system, man. You might be ready to spin on someone.
All right. I remember I was scrolling and I came across, I don't know, okay, it was Sharp, some other people, and they was trying to address you.
Yeah.
So what they feel like you on some culture vulture stuff, or
yeah,
because he didn't make a good argument. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? It's kind of like, I feel like there's two main arguments that people hit me with when I do interviews like that. You know, on the one hand, it's the culture vulture thing, which, look, let's be real, man. I think a lot of the problem is because, you know, this is hip hop culture, it's black culture. And because I'm a white guy, I think a lot of people feel like I shouldn't be able to talk on the culture because I'm white. And, you know, I do completely understand that this is a black dominated culture. And, you know, I don't claim any ownership of the culture. I'm really just a fan. You know, I'm a fan of the music. I'm a fan of black culture. You know, I'm just trying to enjoy and immerse myself in the culture and in the music that I love that, you know, happens often to be made by black people. But, you know, I would disagree with the kind of culture vulture allegation because I feel like I'm not out here pretending to be a gangbanger making music like I'm 6ix9ine repping the blood bandana. I feel like if you want to say culture vulture, trying to pretend to be something you're not. Like, look, man, I'm here in my shirt and my bow tie. Like, I'm not trying to be gang. I'm a historian of music. You know what I'm saying? And it just so happens that, yeah, a lot of it's gangster music, gangster rap. I'm a white guy, but I would like to think that my passion and my love for the culture is genuine. I'm not trying to put anyone down. I'm really just trying to understand and document the history of the culture. So, you know, I always argue with people if they try and put that on me. And really, I think when it comes down to it, a lot of people just kind of coming at me because I'm white. But the other argument that people give me a lot is that it's like, oh, you shouldn't be talking on the street shit. You're like a snitch. You know, that's what he was kind of trying to come at me in that interview a lot, to sort of say, like, you're snitching, you're speaking on gang activity, you're jamming people up. And you know what I would say to that is, like, realistically, man, I'm a researcher. I really don't necessarily do the whole, like, you know, trying to, I'm not waiting outside people's houses, going through people's trash, trying to find out secret info. Everything that I put out there is public information. It's on Google, it's on Reddit, it's in the lyrics. Like, I'm not trying to bring anything to the forefront. Like, the amount of people that send me DMs like, yo, let me give you inside information on this or that person. I don't want inside information. I'm all about what's online, what's in the music, what's already there. I'm just trying to paint a picture of what's already available. So I wouldn't say I'm a snitch. I'm not trying to get people jammed up, and I'm not telling on anybody that people didn't already know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't get snitch from you. I don't get that.
Okay, I appreciate that, man.
I wouldn't even be talking to you right there if I thought that. I hate snitches.
Hey, listen, the thing is, yeah, I'm super civilian, but at the same time, like, I'm just trying to document the history, bro. Like, I don't want to see people locked up, you know, but at the same time, you know, dudes be jumping on songs talking about we killed this person and that person. I think we should be allowed to talk about that. You know, sometimes I feel like it's kind of BS when people sort of come out and say, like, oh, you shouldn't be speaking on this, you shouldn't be speaking on that, you're incriminating people. But it's like, bro, you got songs with millions of views, you're talking about you're smoking this person and that person. If you made a song with 2 million views talking about you're smoking this guy, I think everybody listening is entitled to go on Google and look up who this guy you're smoking is, because you're making, you know, getting millions of views, making thousands of dollars, speaking on dead people. I think we got a right to go and look up what it is we're all singing along to, you know. I think that when that Who I Smoke song came out and they're talking about who I smoke, Bibby, everyone was singing along, and I felt like it was my job to be like, okay, well, let me tell you who Bibby is. Like, these guys you're disrespecting, making fun of in the song, these are real people with real families. Let me break that down for you and show you that this ain't a game, this ain't a laugh. Like, yo, we smoking Bibby. Like, yo, that's a real young man, 16-year-old guy who lost his life in Jacksonville behind this drill music. And I think it's important to remember that. So, you know, I do think what I do is actually, you know, positive as far as like helping people understand and navigate what's going on. And I think if you're making songs with millions of views, man, and you're mad at a guy that's breaking down the lyrics, like, I think maybe you're in the wrong business, you know?
Hey, no. I rock with your content. I rock with it.
Appreciate that, man.
Everything. And then it don't seem like you just, I don't know, clickbait shit, just pulling shit out the air. You know what I'm saying? You doing your real research.
Yeah, I'm really trying to find the facts. I'm all about the facts, man. Like, I really, like, even just as a fan, like, you know, you mentioned the Drakeo video. You know, I was a big fan of his music. I wanted to know what happened to him, to be honest with you. Like, I just wanted to know, like, how did he get so jammed up? Like, what was the real deal behind his case? And to be honest, you know, the more I learned about it, like, I'm gonna keep it real, man. Like, you know, you lived it, right? You were involved in that whole situation. But like, you know, for me, hearing Drakeo dissing you so relentlessly, like, I felt like this guy was really kind of, you know, playing with fire. He was dissing a lot of people. You know, people unfortunately lost their lives, you know, related to things that had gone on. And I felt like, you know, I want to get an understanding of what Drakeo had really gotten himself into. You know, it seemed to me like he got himself in a little bit too deep. When he came out of jail, he really should have kind of, you know, left certain people alone and just, you know, again, it's like he was jumping on songs in front of millions of people, dissing, being very disrespectful. And I think it's important for us to understand that, man, because as much as a fan as I am of Drakeo's music, I think, you know, you can look at that story and say he was probably doing too much, and he should have maybe been a little bit more peaceful in that later part of his career. Right. And it's unfortunate, you know, as a fan of his music, he's no longer with us, and he kind of went out in a, you know, in a very unfortunate way off the back of a lot of negative energy he put out there, man, and it's very sad.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Hey, no, see, people, it's a lesson in that though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like these rappers and shit. You know what I'm saying? He, you know, he basically did it to himself. You know how that shit go.
You know what really struck me about his story? I think that it was like, obviously, you know, the situation happened where he was on trial. You know, a friend of yours lost their life. You know, a young man did end up going down for that murder. Drakeo ended up coming out. But it was really surprising to me how when he came out, just how much he was dissing, how negative he was being to people. And it was kind of like, you know, it's kind of sad because I was a fan of his when he was alive. Then he passed away, and it was, you could see what was going on. You know, even that last interview with No Jumper, he's been very disrespectful. And you kind of feel like this is a guy that is playing like he's got nothing to lose, and he did have a lot to lose. You know, he could have had a bright future had things gone differently, man. So it's you know, it's a crazy story, man. But we can move on from that situation if you know what I'm saying.
Oh no, you know, I'm comfortable with everything, man. On everything. But I want to know who you drumming up next. Like who you thinking about doing your next doc on?
Yeah, so I'm just about to drop a documentary.
Because your last one was how long ago?
It was nearly a month, man. I did one on Q50, who's a young guy coming out of Chicago. You know, he claims that he's got 8 bodies. He's rapping about it. He's still out here on the run, running around. So that was an interesting story to break down. But the next one I'm about to drop, probably in the next couple of days, we just been finishing it off, is about Philadelphia gangster rappers YBC Duel, who unfortunately lost his life recently in Philadelphia, and you know, different people involved with his clique. You got Skrilla, Lil Bucks, a lot of guys coming out of Philly. So that's an interesting story. But obviously, I'm out here in LA, man. I'm kind of doing something a little bit different to what I'm used to. I'm doing a couple of interviews now. I'm doing a documentary where I'm really trying to break down the history of the Bloods and the Crips. The real early history of kind of how gang culture actually came to be in LA. And, you know what I'm saying, I've had a few interesting conversations with different people about that topic. But that was something I was trying to ask you about, really, as far as like, what do you know about that real early history of, you know, the Bloods and Crips in LA and how this kind of culture came to be? You know, I hear, you know, shit dates all the way back to the 60s and 70s. And I'm really trying to understand how this gangbanging stuff came to be in the city, you know? So that's something I'm working on next while I'm out here. And I'm just trying to get an understanding really of the real heritage of this street stuff.
Yeah, see, I used to believe Crips was bullies early on. All the everything we know as the Bloods today is just anti Crips and didn't want to, you know what I'm saying? Making people join with intimidation, stealing people leather jackets back then. You know what I mean? All these independent gangs that didn't want to join that is the birth of the Bloods. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause my hood was called the Chain Gang, and then the name changed to Inglewood Family a little later. But my hood been around, shit, late 60s, early 70s. You know what I'm saying? Like, hell yeah, but I could put you in contact with some, you know what I'm saying? People give you some real early on history and shit for sure.
Yeah, for real, I'd appreciate that, man. So something I was curious to ask you about, man, is like, you know, when you're growing up in an area like that, you know, Inglewood, it's a very famous area. You know, it's probably a pretty tough environment to grow up in. Like, when you're growing up and you're coming up, like, what's life like? Like, do you have you know, OGs and family and uncles and shit that are kind of telling you about the history of what it used to be like maybe in the 60s and 70s? Or is it, as a young guy growing up in the area, you're kind of forging your own path with the youth and the young guys, and it's like you kind of just forging a new path rather than paying attention to the history? Like, what's that like?
No. I know the ins and outs of my hood history. the first lineup, the founders and all that shit. I got relationships and talked to them. You know what I'm saying? And then my dad, he a blood for me, but he from the east side. So I didn't have to jump off the porch. I was like, shit. I go in the living room, they playing dominoes, him and his homies. You know what I'm saying? Like I had a front row seat to it, but hell yeah, I asked a lot of questions. Like I don't want to be a part of some shit and not know what's going on. You know what I'm saying?
For real.
So I asked. Even if I got a question today, I call the big homie Tricky. Like you know what I'm saying? Hey, why this? Why this? Why this? Why this? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, cause you a fool. You don't even know the history where what you banging and you about to go put your life on the line for and all, you know what I'm saying? Where these beefs derive from and all this little shit. So yeah, I get gamed up, man. I'm a acquisitive person. You feel me? So I holler at my big homies and shit. And hell yeah.
Is it true that you mentioned earlier that you kind of when you were coming up you thought Crips were like bullies? You know, it's a story that I've heard a lot from people is that like, the Bloods or the Pyrus kind of emerged as opposition to the Crips because the Crips were really kind of so dominant, in Los Angeles and in the city and in the different areas that like, these other groups that were repping red kind of had to pop up to sort of defend themselves because the Crips were getting so powerful. Is that how it was back in the day, or is that kind of a bit of a generic breakdown of what really happened?
When I say they was bullies, I'm talking about like the beginning of their formation. You know what I'm saying? They like and Crips is deeper than Bloods, like and back then before my time it was a landslide. So you go to jail, it'd be like 1 Blood to 9 Crips. You know what I'm saying? But these days, like it's like an even playing field now. Like they ain't got that footing they had when they first started to be bullies against the Bloods. Like the Bloods we got a foundation now. We deep. You know what I'm saying? It's been years, decades of this shit. So anytime something first start, it be crazy. So when the Crips first started and they was doing their thing, I say they was bullies. Like, community revolution and progress, all that. I don't know who came up with that little acronym. That's some bullshit. But shit. No, that's gonna be a good one. I'm typed into that. You said so you say you trying to get the origins of the Bloods and the Crips in.
Yeah, that's the idea, man. I'm trying to just really trace the early history because I feel like Bloods and Crips, you guys, as far as the culture, man, I feel like cripping and banging blood is spread all over America. We got Bloods and Crips in the UK, right? But this is where it originated, and it's such a powerful culture that's spread around the world. You got cities all over the US that have Bloods and Crips sets, and I'm trying to understand, like from what I've heard, a lot of the reason that Bloods and Crips kind of spread out in other cities in America is because of the drug game and because of the drug trade, and groups that, like I was saying in the UK, you got these groups that are kind of moving drugs to different areas and different communities. That seemed to happen with some of the Bloods and Crips. They're trying to get money in different states and different cities,
right? And
then kind of sets end up popping up in these different areas. And again, just 10, 20 years go by, and then suddenly, you got really well-established groups in different cities. New York, the Bloods became a really big thing in New York, from what I understand. You got...
Yeah, I heard the Bloods is deep in New York.
For real. And, you even got like Grape Street Crips that have gone to like, Memphis? You got Grape Street in Memphis, all kinds of stuff. So we're really just trying to trace that history. But from the early stages, it's not meant to be like a drill, who shot who kind of documentary. It's trying to be more like historical, educational type thing.
Yeah, I interviewed Ron from 60s. That's Raymond Washington's nephew.
For real.
Yeah. Like, I could link y'all. He could, man.
For real.
Raymond Washington started the Crips, and he lived under the same roof as him at one point. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So like so people like that's tapped in, got a real front row seat. Like, those the ones you want to holler at for sure.
It's been really interesting to me, man, because hearing that real early history of the Bloods and the Crips, especially how the Crips started, like, it's crazy to think what a big thing that it became, right? You give it 20, 30 years. I've watched a lot of interviews with some older guys that were sort of around for the early formation of the gangs. And like, it's crazy to think they could have never imagined it becoming this big thing that's all over the world, all over America, all over the world. It's this huge thing everywhere, probably tens, if not hundreds of thousands of Bloods and Crips all over the world. But like, you know, it comes from very humble beginnings of guys that can't, you know, trying to protect their neighborhood, and, you know, all the little things that were going on, you know, people robbing each other for their leather jackets, to the point where this cripping and banging blood thing just became this global phenomenon, man. It's, you know, it's very fascinating, and I really want to just help people understand what it's all about.
Yeah, no, this shit didn't spread it like cancer, because yeah, my hood is in a lot of different states.
It's a famous hood that you're from, right? Like, I mean,
Yeah, we one of like the first, like one of them first blood hoods. You know what I'm saying? Like old hoods like Anthers Park, Inglewood family, the Bonnie Hunters when they was calling themselves the Green Jackets. Like them like, yeah. But my hood been around for years and years and shit. We got some notable shit going on. You feel me? We got some rappers out the section. Shout out to my little nigga Frosty.
Frosty's hard, man.
Yeah, my nigga Scheme, Lil Deuce, like, you know what I'm saying?
For real, man. No, there's a lot of talent coming out of that area, man. And, you know, it's good to see. And, you know, whatever I can do to kind of like shine a light on what's going on. Because, again, like, even if I do a video and I'm talking about gangsters and, yeah, people have done this or that, but I'm always trying to put people onto the music as well. You know, I'm always trying to say, yeah, this situation happened, but also this guy released this song and it's a hit. This is a banger. You know, let's make sure we focus on the music. Because I think a lot of people that do these kind of gangster drill documentaries, a lot of them, they just talk about the drills. And I'm always trying to make sure that I talk about the music. Because I love the music, man. Whenever I do a documentary, I immerse myself in the music. Like, you know, I might spend a whole month just listening to, you know, a couple artists from a certain city, because I want to really immerse myself in the music and really feel it. Because, you know, it's more than just street shit to me. It's like the music and the culture and the art.
So who your favorite artist?
Man, it's a controversial one, but right now my number one rapper is Youngboy.
Okay.
I fuck with Youngboy heavily, man, because I feel like he's one of the youngest guys to go to this crazy level with the music. I think he really pioneered that sort of like pain music. I know there's been singing gangsters before, but I feel like the way that Youngboy actually sings and puts his pain into his music, he can make murder music and then he can make a love song that's going to make you cry on the same album. So I feel like he's one of the most versatile and underrated artists out here. And when I did that 6-hour Youngboy documentary, I came out the end of that documentary just being the biggest fan of Youngboy. So I always put him as my number one. But like, if I was going to do my top 5 rappers, like I'd always put, you know, just for impact, someone like Future would definitely be top 5 for me. Just as far as like the artistry, how he changed the game, how he kind of made that sort of mumbly, drugged out rap that just sort of became this whole new wave. You know, obviously people were doing it before, but I feel like Future on another level, artist wise. You know, I would definitely put King Von in my top 5, man. As far as that aggressive drill, gangster rap shit, I don't think there's anybody better than Von as far as like just that high energy music, man. And again, it's just such a shame that he passed away when he did.
Man.
So that's unfortunate, man. But you know, a big fan of a lot of different types of music, man. Within hip hop, I only listen to hip hop, but it's just like all the different subgenres within hip hop, man. Drill, the gangster rap, you know, the more laid back stuff. You know, there's so many different artists I'm a big fan of. But yeah, before Youngboy was my favorite artist, I would have put Lil Wayne up there as number 1. So Lil Wayne's definitely in my top 5, man. Like Carter 3 is probably my favorite album.
I think Lil Wayne on everybody top 5.
100%, man. He's really the GOAT, the godfather of this stuff, man. Because you know we wouldn't have Youngboy if it wasn't for Lil Wayne. So Wayne kind of gotta be in there. You know, maybe sort of the grandfather to Youngboy, the godfather. And then probably I know it's controversial right now, especially in LA, but I'm a big fan of Drake as well. You know, I feel like the artistry, he took this rap stuff to just a whole new level that no one had ever taken it before, man. He's Michael Jackson of this generation, man, Drake. And you got to give him his respect.
I can't think of not one artist that could do it versus with Drake and win.
He's got
it gotta be Lil Wayne, like to do verses with him. Other than that, ain't nobody messing with Drake, bro.
And even then, I love Wayne. I would rate Wayne higher than Drake as far as what I like. But bro, you put him in a versus, man. Drake's got it because he's just got too many hits, man. So many number ones, so many hit songs. He's got bars. He's got love songs for girls. Like he did it differently, man. So yeah, Drake's probably the greatest to ever do it. You know.
So all right, in your opinion, you think top 5 talking too much? Because you gotta think about it like Drake, you gotta come to California to get it back. You don't gotta go to Toronto, Canada, Vancouver, you know what I'm saying? To get like it ain't a must stop, you know what I'm saying? So now this dude that came home and he threatening people talking crazy, really adding fuel to the fire. But in your opinion, you don't think I don't know. I don't think that's a good idea for him to be talking like that. You really?
I hear it, bro, but that's what Top 5 does, man. Because you know, you said you've only been aware of him recently, man. But before he went away, bro, Top 5 is the biggest troll, disrespectful. Like, this is what Top 5 does, man. So it doesn't surprise me. He's defo talking a lot, but that's what he does, man. That's what he's on. And there's been that interview with him and Leah May, the females interviewer from the UK that just came out. You know, he's talking crazy on a lot of topics. Obviously, he's talking on the Kendrick situation. They're also talking about the Kodak situation, man. You know, Press's brother, Bundog, he was there for the interview. Obviously, they were there with YG as well, talking about, you know, when Kodak got shot and, you know what I'm saying, those guys maybe something to do with that. So they're talking super hot right now, man. But that's what they do, you know, and it's been super viral. So, you know, I don't know if Top 5's got any plans to come to California, but, you know, it might be a little hot for him if he gets out here. But then again, he's really about it. So who knows where he's willing to take it. But, you know, hopefully it doesn't come to that. But he's definitely talking hot right now, man. It's crazy.
But Dan, you talking and Drake, he still got to be the person he is and travel and move around and do business. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but Drake's so rich, man. He can move like the president. Like, realistically, no one's touching Drake. Even
right.
Kendrick can send a whole army. No one's touching Drake, man. He's moving like a president. So I feel like Drake's got nothing to worry about in that regard. But then again, Top 5, I don't know. It's a different story, but I don't know. If I'm completely honest with you, man, I'm a fan of Drake. I'm a fan of Top 5. But I do feel like it might not be so good for Drake's image, because the story goes that, like, Drake paid for the lawyer that got Top 5 out. You know, I'm seeing posts by, like, friends and family of the guy that lost his life talking about how dare Drake kind of finesse his way of get this guy out of jail. You know, I don't know how Drake did it. You know, he must have done some voodoo or something to get Top 5 out, because I think everybody just thought that he was cooked. But you know, Drake's kind of like stoking things in the streets a little bit. But I don't know, man. Everyone's waiting for round 2 of this beef. You know, I'm waiting for round 2. I keep hearing every couple of weeks, oh, Drake's gonna drop. But who knows, man? It could be over.
I think it's over.
You think it's over with?
Yeah, I think it's over. And then, I think it's over. But it was an interesting 3 weeks. They was going back and forth.
Oh, it was crazy, man. You got to give them credit, man, because that's really what hip hop is about. And you know what I really loved? It was an interesting time, because it's like, for me, so much of what I do is about the streets and the drill music. And, like, look, as much as I cover what I cover and I talk about rappers that get killed, bro, it breaks my heart when a rapper that I like and that I listen to, you know, loses their life or gets hurt or gets shot. And when Drake and Kendrick were going back and forth, it was so nice. It felt like 2-3 weeks that all the news was, it was just hip hop. It was bars. It was rap related. It wasn't no news about nobody getting shot, nobody dissing, you know, getting violent with people. They kind of brought hip hop back to where it kind of originally was, as far as the hip hop back and forth, rather than the drill stuff. So to be honest, man, I thought it was actually so good for the culture to have a real hip hop back and forth, you know, like a legendary back and forth, a legendary rap beef.
2 heavyweights.
Yeah, for real, man. It was buzzing. So to be honest, man, you got to shout out both artists for getting in the ring and bringing that hip hop, that dissing, that competitiveness back to the scene, because damn, man, we needed it. I feel like the scene really needed something like that. So, and you know, I know, you know, Not Like Us was a huge hit, man. That was a banger. I feel like Drake dropped some good songs in the beef. You know, both artists are going to live to see another day. I don't think any careers are getting ended over this, but, like, man, they turned up for a bit, man. It was good. It's good for hip hop.
Man, he got the biggest song in the nation.
Yeah, that was crazy, man. It must have just been a crazy vibe in LA when that song dropped, right? Like,
right.
It just must have been buzzing. I mean, the song's still buzzing now, but when that first dropped, it was just going crazy everywhere.
And then, you know, it's kind of like, what you want to call it, a conflict of interest, because he about to perform at the Super Bowl in Wayne hometown, and you know Drake come from that Young Money tree and everything. So I don't know, man. Shit crazy.
I feel like that was blown out of proportion though, because the thing is, I feel like people were really pushing the whole Lil Wayne narrative, and I love Wayne. I'd love to see Wayne perform at the Super Bowl. Realistically, I'm a bigger fan of Wayne than I am of Kendrick. Not to disrespect Kendrick, but like, I'm a huge Wayne fan. But from what I understand, man, like, it's not normal for, like, the Super Bowl. You know, they don't just have to have an artist from the area that the Super Bowl's in. I get it would be lit to see Wayne perform in his home state, but at the same time, like, it's not a requirement that every person that does the Super Bowl halftime show has to be from that spot. And, like, Kendrick just had probably the biggest moment in hip hop for years. Kendrick does kind of deserve it. You know what I'm saying? Not to disrespect Wayne, but, like, it's Kendrick's moment. So it makes sense. And, you know, Wayne plays it low key with his career now. You know what I'm saying? He had big moments.
Yeah,
in
he
his
drop
career.
he drop when he feel like it.
Exactly, yeah. So he don't really need to pull up, you know, and he doesn't. It doesn't. I don't think it would make sense for Wayne to do the Super Bowl over Kendrick. It makes sense for Kendrick. Like Kendrick got it right now. So I feel like a lot of people on Drake's camp and on that side of things, they were really trying to push the negativity and push the Wayne narrative to try and put Kendrick down. But shit, man, it's Kendrick's time.
But Wayne seemed like he was kind of disappointed that he didn't get a call.
No, I feel that. I did see that clip. But then again, I feel like Wayne's almost like playing into, you know, Wayne and Drake are homies, right? So he's probably like, I'm going to do a clip. I'm going to say how disappointed I am. We're going to put it on Kendrick. Like, I don't know, man. I wouldn't be surprised if they kind of schemed that behind the scenes. But shit, man. Kendrick's got it. So is what it is.
Yeah, man. That was a W for the West. That was a W.
For real, man.
Even at the show, he brung out all these people from different hoods, you know what I'm saying, all on the same stage. Wasn't no fights, no nothing.
They're saying he really united the city with that one.
Right, he did that. He did that. That's why, because you already in the South, you got Texas, Louisiana, you got Memphis, Atlanta. So they got that whole region. Then on the East Coast, you got New York, Jersey, D.C., Philly. But West Coast, you only got California, really. Like, so they be trying to put like comparisons, but we only got the state of California, and they be having whole regions. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel that.
Oh man, I was happy, man. And K-Dot about to do his thing at the Super Bowl and shit. Hopefully my team there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%, man. That's gonna be lit. You gotta get out there, man.
Yeah, man.
I've never been. I like going to. I've been to a couple football games, but I've never been to a Super Bowl. It must be lit to go to a Super Bowl.
Man, them tickets be high. Like, you know, people that they purchasing their tickets now for
real?
For February. You know what I'm saying?
Damn, I bet they're expensive too.
Yeah, hell yeah. I'm gonna have to get to one of these Rams games.
Yeah, I'm trying to go, man. I need to get to a game as well while I'm out here. I'm finna go see the Lakers at some point this month.
The who?
The Lakers. I never seen the Lakers play before.
What is it? Hold on. What month is this? It ain't basketball season yet, though.
I think there's a couple games on though.
Oh yeah.
Maybe they're like preseason or something.
It might be some preseason shit.
Yeah. I don't follow the league, but I'm just trying to see the Lakers play. Like that's just gonna be fun. I never been down there.
Are you a Laker fan?
I'm not a Laker fan, but like, I guess I am now. Like, you know, I just want to see them play. That's like probably the most famous team. I've seen the Miami Heat a couple times when I've been in Miami. But like, I love American sports, man. You guys just do it differently. Like the energy of sports here, it's just lit. You go and see the halftime shows, the games, all the commercial. Like it's just lit. I just love the vibes here.
Hey, you know what's crazy? Everybody was like, when 21 Savage went through, didn't nobody know he was from the UK.
Yeah, that was crazy, man. That was a big moment for the UK, man. We finally got someone good we can claim over here.
Yeah, but he wasn't claiming the UK. Like everybody,
he's still trying not to claim the UK. But he did a big music video for that new song he did. What was the name of that song? Red Rum. He filmed it in the UK. A good friend of mine actually directed the music video. Shout out to Danny. But like, yeah, it's almost like he wasn't trying to claim the UK, and then it kind of, once the meme died down a little bit, then he wanted to like film a music video in the hood and stuff. But the area he's from in London's like pretty active, you know, like his family and the people he comes from, like it's a pretty active block that he was from originally. So it's an interesting one, man. But yeah, he's not trying to claim the UK like that. That was just crazy news, man, when that came out.
If he was smart, he would embrace it, because you gonna have that whole UK behind you. That's a whole, you know what I'm saying?
He kind of does, though. When people found out, because there was all the memes going on of like, Sir 21st of Savagington or shit like that, people doing memes on him. But like in the UK, people were like, yeah, like 21, he's 21's ours. Like he's one of the guys, man. He's one of the UK guys. So we claim him now, man. People act like that. Like people talking about 21. They'll be like, yeah, he's like the first British rapper to do this, to do that. But I'm a big fan of 21 Savage, man. But it'd be good if he embraced it more, man. I'd love to see him collab with a few UK artists or something like that.
Yeah.
Like real street artists, like people from his area or stuff like that. That would be hard. But to be fair, he shot that music video in the hood. That was cool. And, he'd be embracing it a little bit here and there. But, man, that was a crazy time. He caught that immigration case. They were trying to kick him out of the country. It's messed up, man. If you ain't got the right paperwork, it's a tough time over here.
I wonder how he got that settled.
Man, that's the thing. He got the bag to sort it out. I heard Jay-Z or like Rock Nation or something helped him out. I don't know. They like the Illuminati of this stuff, man. Jay-Z gets involved, he can sort it out. He got Meek off probation or something. Like, damn, Jay-Z just finna sort it.
So Jake helping people out with immigration. He got Meek off probation, but you couldn't stop Megan Thee Stallion from going to court snitching and shit.
I mean,
I blame him.
really?
Nah, he got an influence. You know what I'm saying? He could have stopped that.
Do you think Tory Lanez shot her?
I can't even.
Or is that a question I can't ask you? You got to keep it straight.
No, he doing his time now. But at first I was saying no, but Alex, one of them dudes that do, he be diving deep into stuff, and he sat in on court dates. I don't know. He probably shot her. I don't know. Hey, but
You ever heard the apology? There's like a recorded conversation where he calls Kelsey the next day, and he's on some like, oh, I'm sorry. Like the way he's talking, it just sounds to me like, bro, that's like you calling to say I'm sorry I shot you. You know what I'm saying? If you didn't shoot anyone, why are you calling talking like that?
no, I think well, if I was him, my argument would have been I was saying I'm sorry to Kelsey because I was effing Kelsey, and then I effed Megan. You feel me? He could have been saying sorry to that because it all popcorn behind that. You know what I'm saying? Kind of, sort of.
You know what I think is the real story, man? I feel like it's so simple. Tory said so many times that he wanted to smash Kylie Jenner. You know, that party, they were at Kylie's crib. You could see there was a little video where it looked like Tory and Kylie were having a little moment, and then Meg's kind of coming in to stop the show. I feel like he just got cock blocked on Kylie Jenner, and he just had to shoot.
Yeah, no, he was irritated.
He was pissed. He's like, yo, I was about to secure the bag. I was about to, you know what I'm saying? I was about to get up in Kylie Jenner. I'm going to have to shoot.
I respect him though. He not PC'd up or nothing. He on a regular prison yard.
Really?
I respect it.
Yeah, man, that's fair play. That's fair play. If I could, man, do you think I'd survive in jail out here?
Yeah, you're a cool white boy.
For real. I worry about it, man. Like, even I don't want to be caught speeding or nothing, bro, because I feel like if they throw me in the tank, I'm going to be in trouble.
Nah, you should be cool.
You think? How am I navigating, man? If I get jammed up, man, how do I say I get there? What's going to go down? What's the first thing I'm going to see if, you know what I'm saying, if they're putting me in a cell?
LA County Jail?
Yeah.
Hey, well, first of all, our shit real political, right? So you got the blacks, the Mexicans, and then the white boys. So you have to run with the white boys.
That's what they're saying. I'm trying to roll with the blacks, man, but I got to roll with the white boys.
Hey, but guess what? You are what you identify is. So if you came and you like, no, I'm running with the blacks, you run with the blacks.
For real.
Yeah.
I heard the white boys don't like that, though.
No. The Hispanics don't like it when they see a Mexican from a black gang. They hate it.
For real.
Or it's a white boy from a black gang. The whites in there absolutely hate it.
I had a homie that got jammed up in Texas. Went inside for a bit. I think he was only like 5 days, but I can't remember. He got trespassing or something. But he's a white guy. He was like, man, I basically got jumped into the white supremacists. He was like, bruh, it was rough. He's like, I had to do what I had to do to survive. I was like, bro, I hope it never comes to that.
No, man. No, hell no, man. Hey, you go to LA County Jail, man. It's like, man, I run with the blacks. You feel me?
Hey, if it comes to that, man, I'm gonna need to tap in. You need to hook me up with some people, man, to look out for, watch my back.
Yeah, hey, dog, cause you don't want to be getting taxed and shit. You feel me?
Yeah, no,
they
for
politics different. Your girl ain't putting no money on your books to give somebody a percentage and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? F that. Blacks, we don't get down like that.
For real.
Hell no. My girl, she put money on my books for me. We ain't playing none of them games. But, you know, shit crazy. Man, you ain't hitting no LA County Jail though, man. What you be?
Bro, I'm a law-abiding citizen, man. I try not to break the law in any way, shape, or form, man. So anything I can do to avoid going county jail, man. But you never know, man. People get jammed up, you get framed. You know what I'm saying? I never know. I could be filming a hood vlog with the wrong block or the wrong guys. Shit, man. They might throw me in there too.
Guns outside.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Could happen.
Hey, no. When I come back from Jamaica, you got to pull up in the hood, though.
Hey, I'm down, bro. That'd be lit.
No, for real.
Let's make that happen.
Yeah, you know, because you cool than the motherfucker, dog.
Oh, I appreciate that, man.
And that's what I'm saying. I didn't understand what Sharp and them argument was. and if they didn't really land their plane correctly with whatever he was trying to get across.
It kind of didn't. It went a little bit left for him, you know. Because you know what it is, though, bro. I do a lot of these debates and interviews, man. The thing with me is like I don't duck any fades. I'll sit down and debate with anyone. If you hate me, if you think that I'm racist, cultural, whatever, like I'll still sit down and have a conversation, a polite, pleasant conversation. I'll give you my side of things. And I feel like the Sharp thing. I feel like a lot of people sit down with me and they think like, yo, we're gonna get him. We're gonna take him down. We're gonna air him out on this interview. And I think often they're quite surprised. They can't really pin me down, like, because it's just, I'm just being genuine. Like, I would always defend myself. I really believe in what I'm doing. I don't think I'm a snitch. I don't think I'm a culture vulture. And I think it was tricky for him because he couldn't really land anything on me, and he kind of came out there looking stupid. And I'm a fan of his, bro. So after that interview, man, so many people were saying like,
came out looking stupid.
He came out looking stupid. I'm like, bro, I'm a fan of you, but I really just made you look crazy.
Yeah, he didn't land his plane.
Yeah, but there's been a few like that. I did Math Hoffa, the guys in New York, you know, where they shoot in the barbershop, and like, it was the same thing. One of the guys there was really trying to get on me, and I just, you know, I was just kind of finessing it and, you know, just giving my points, giving my arguments, and a lot of people respected it, you know. So I like to think, man, I'd sit down and have a conversation with anyone, bro. Even if you hate me, you think I'm the worst, like, we got to find some common ground and just, you know what I'm saying, get to the root of it, because I'm really not trying to disrespect anyone or put anyone on blast or cause problems. Like, I'm a fan. I'm just trying to understand what's going on. And like, you know, I'd like to think I got a clean heart when it comes to this stuff.
Nah, man, keep doing you, man. F the haters, bro.
I appreciate that, man.
You got some good content and shit, and it don't seem like you doing no shock value shit just for clicks and shit. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just trying to get the facts, man. You know, I'm just, and that's the funny thing, man. People talk about clickbait. Like, I'll be making a 6-hour video. Like, you know what I'm saying? Not everyone's trying to see a 6-hour video. Like, we be going deep, we be going hard, and like, just, I'm trying to get to the facts, man. It's all about the truth, spreading the word, getting things, you know, accurate, and telling people what's going down. And like, I'm just a fan, honestly, man. I'm just trying to get to the root of the history of this stuff. So, you know what I'm saying? But I'd sit down with anyone, man. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, you know, I'm glad that we're having this conversation. You know, I'm out here for the whole month trying to just do interviews, trying to link up with people, whether we're from completely different side of the tracks. You know, it's always a good conversation to sit down and, you know, I'm not from the lifestyle. I would never claim to be. I'm not from the hood. You know, I'm not gang, but I'm just trying to understand what that life's like, you know, from a genuine point of view.
What Monster Cody say? We not a secret society. We're a society with secrets. Cause you know, like Monster Cody did his book, and a lot of people was upset with him because he put a lot in that book.
Really?
So when they was asking about that and how people wasn't feeling a lot of shit being divulged in that book, that's what he said. Like, man, shit, we ain't no secret society. We just a society with secrets. Like, nigga, this. And then nigga, I rather, you know what I'm saying, you tell your story before somebody else tell it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for real. And that's your story, you know, that belongs to you. Like, you know, you tell your story how you want to tell it. And yeah, you ain't got to be snitching. You know, it's like you can talk about your life and your experience without telling or without giving away the secret source or whatever you want to do. You know, I feel like people are entitled to tell their story. So, something that I find interesting, sometimes people come at me with this argument of like, well, these aren't your stories to tell. And it's like, okay, well, on the one hand, yeah, I'm not from the hood, fine, it's not necessarily my story to tell, but then as a fan of the music, as somebody that's listening to every song by an artist, that's reading every post about an artist, watching every interview, it's kind of like, I'm allowed to interpret that and give my opinion on it, of what I thought of it. You know, these songs are getting seen by millions of people. It's kind of like, I'm here to give a fan's perspective. That doesn't mean that a rapper can't make their own documentary. Like, every rapper that I talk about, I would love to see them make their own documentary, tell their story from their point of view, because I'm never going to tell it like him that was actually involved. You know, I'm never going to tell your story like you. I'm going to tell my version of what happened of this area, that area. But it's like, everyone's entitled to tell their story, and I think everybody's interested. You know, everyone would want to hear, you know, your life story from your perspective. Maybe if someone else want to explain it, maybe someone else from a similar area. You know, I just feel like there's just a big appetite for storytelling and, you know, spreading the word about the history, whether it's your neighborhood or your music or different artists, different areas. I just think it's important to tell stories, man. And, you know, a lot of people, they talk about like YouTubing and media, like, oh, it's snitching, you're on doing interviews telling, but it's like, bro, you can hop on an interview and not give away any secrets, but still tell your story, you know, still tell your experience without snitching on yourself or anything like that.
They be mad at Vlad, these other people, but the person, bro, sitting down ain't gotta answer the questions, bro. You feel me? Like Pee Wee Longway.
100%.
He the poster boy on how to curve questions when he went up there with Vlad. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, the interviewer just asking what he go ask. You ain't gotta answer that shit.
100%.
But
But that's the funny thing is it's almost like, look, if you go by the code of like, yo, we don't talk on these things, then you got to maintain that in the interview, bro. If you really don't speak on those things, you know, you hop in there like Pee Wee and you say, I'm all legal, I'm all legit. That's how you want to run it. That's how you should run it. You know what I'm saying? No one's telling you to jump on that interview and talk about we did this, we did that. But that said, you know, from what I understand, Pee Wee's just been caught up in a big case, right? So even hopping on Vlad and talking about I'm completely legal, that ain't necessarily going to save you if you're really doing that stuff. So I don't know, man. But like,
yeah, but you see how ARF went out.
Yeah, man, he went out.
I don't know what made him go on that interview. He just telling this whole
that's
operation.
the thing. He did multiple interviews, but this is the thing, man. I think nowadays in this culture, people are so hungry for that clout that they'll snitch on themselves. They won't even realize it. You know, they're in an interview. They just want to have their moment. They just want to say, I did this, I did that, and it's like, it's unfortunately, you know, it's clout and it's attention, and it's just like people can't help themselves. They just gotta get off. They just gotta tell people what they did, and it's kind of messed up, really. But you know, that's the age we're living in now.
I would love to write a book because the homegirl, shout out Shelly P. She write books. She wanted to do one on me, but I'm like, I don't know how to tell a story without I don't want to get nobody in trouble. You know what I'm saying?
You ever see like sometimes you get authors, you know, they be writing stories, but they sort of like change the names. They may be fiction. They kind of make it's like a story based on a true story, but kind of you change the details. You know what I'm saying? Maybe some shit like that could work for you, where you sort of like you write it like it's fiction, like it's a made up story, but at the same time, it's like you maybe take a few things from different people, mix them together. You make up a couple things, you leave a few things out. Maybe that's the approach. Like you could write something that's sort of like, you know, based on a true story or inspired by real events, but it ain't actually what happened. You know what I'm saying? You cover yourself.
My shit would be, man, bro, that shit would be action packed.
Yeah, I need to see that. We're trying to make an action movie out of that book, man. The book about to be a major motion picture.
No, for real.
Hell yeah, man.
I don't even tell war stories because I'll be so scared of snitches. Like, you can't even get drunk and reminisce on old shit. There, you know what I'm saying? This snitch shit is out of hand, bro.
What is it that's going on right now where it's like they're kind of making snitching cool? Like you got this YSL Woody. Yeah, man. Like what is that? I feel like 6ix9ine was one of the first guys to snitch and actually come out the other side a millionaire, thriving. I feel like he kind of set the template, but it's like right now it's cool to snitch, man. People aspiring to snitch.
I don't like that. He's a famous snitch. YSL Woody. Like he didn't bubble off of being a snitch. Doing 20 verses and shit.
He popping off snitching, man.
It's crazy.
It is crazy. But then again, you got to ask yourself, how long's that going to last, right? You know,
how long?
How long is it going to last? How is he really good in Atlanta like he says he is? You know, will a little bit of time pass? If Thug ends up going down for this whole thing, you know, maybe it's not going to be safe out here for him no more. Right now, who knows what's going to happen? If Thug beats the case, maybe it's water under the bridge. But he really is making snitching look cool, man. It's actually a crazy culture.
Yeah, no, man. And then what's his name? Okay, you said 6ix9ine.
6ix9ine.
They had an allegation about.
Well, the other one that's very controversial is Gunna, right? Would you say Gunna's a snitch? He took the Alford plea, was saying yes, ma'am. But as far as I'm aware, he ain't actually snitched on anyone.
Is YSL a gang? You shouldn't have said yes, ma'am to that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's the whole thing. Operating as a gang. Like, no, that's a label, champ. That ain't no, you know what I'm saying? Like.
Yeah, that's a good point. I feel like that's a reasonable point to make.
That's the only thing he said yes, ma'am to. That's an issue because it's a RICO. Like, you know what I'm saying?
But so you take that, right? That's a reasonable response. But then again, how much responsibility does someone like Young Thug have when he was making songs talking about we shot at your mum and YFN Lucci's mother actually got shot at? They shot up the house, and he's putting that in lyrics. You know, I feel like there's, again, not to let anyone off, but it's almost like it's so interesting when you look back at Thug, because I think because of his style and he was an interesting, very eccentric dude. A lot of people didn't really realize what he was really talking about on these songs, talking about getting people's mum shot and stuff. And it's almost like now it's playing out in court. You look back and you think Thug was actually talking crazy in some of these songs. And it's like you almost feel like, I don't know, like Thug was just, his music was gangster, but it didn't, if you weren't listening, you wouldn't have really clocked what he was saying. But it turns out he said a little too much.
it be overlooked because his delivery, how he rap is melodic, all that. But he talking some gang shit within that melodic shit though.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's a funny one because I feel like his story is just so fascinating as far as like, you know, he came up wearing the dress and everyone thought he was gay, but that kind of put him on. And then he was like the whole YSL crew, you know, whether you want to call it label or whatever else, you know, their whole thing was like, we're fashionable, you know, we're rocking snakes, we're doing all this, you know, with the slime green and all that kind of stuff. Like it was, you know, it was a very interesting kind of like culture all around the music. You know, and it was sort of like, is it a gang? Is it not? Is it really? Are they really street? Is it just fashion? And you know, unfortunately, that's caught up with him, and he's in this jam that he's in now. But like, you know, it just, I would say to anyone, man, if you're a young guy coming up rapping, just don't incriminate yourself, bro. Like, no one's making you rap about these crimes. You know, if you got to rap about crimes, make some crimes up that didn't happen. Rap about those. You know, don't rap about those. Say, if someone got shot on this street at this time, you're just gonna pick another street and just make it up. But you know, nowadays everyone's trying to be authentic. They're trying to be the realist, all of that kind of stuff. And you know, unfortunately, if you're putting all that real stuff into your raps, you're gonna have real problems.
Hey, look, when I was younger, I did a gang of like dissing niggas' hoods, they dead homies. I was doing all that shit when I was rapping, right? So I'm like, damn, how these Chicago niggas, they dissing each other, dead homies and shit, and they getting famous off that shit. Like, you got a whole concert talking about I ain't from 63rd. That's somebody hood. You got people chanting that shit.
Yeah. They had the merch. You know, King Von was selling T-shirts with the 63rd sign with a big X whacked out over it. And, like, he was selling that merch. And, like, you had, you know, random kids buying this stuff. Like, yeah, fuck 63rd. Like, bro, that's a real neighborhood, real people. And you know, I feel like that's a crazy thing as far as, like, the gang music. You know, Von and the O-Block and all those guys. Like, they really kind of made that diss and the ops fashionable for the fans. You know, to the point where people really, it was really fuck 63rd. You know, you had random white boys from the suburb really talking about fuck 63rd, and it's actually crazy. But yeah, the whole diss and the dead thing, man, you know, it is very sad. But I just did a video on YBC Doll, the guys coming out of Philly, and what was really interesting in that is there's an interview that he did. I think it's on a channel called the 100 Seconds. And he did an interview where he basically said, like, yo, like, my life changed when I realized I could make money dissing dead dudes. And he was like, bro, the more I diss the dead, the more money I make, the more my streams go up. And it's kind of like, it's kind of sad, but also it's kind of like you can sort of see what's going on, where it's like, look, he's realized this thing. He's like, bro, I'm going to jump on the tracks. I'm going to smoke this person. I'm going to smoke that person. We dissing everyone. And my numbers are going up. For a minute, that was a really good strategy for him. He was changing his circumstances. He's coming out of a real rough environment. Now he's making streaming money. But he was so disrespectful that, you know, eventually they were going to get up with him because he was going song after song, smoking this guy, smoking that guy, talking about this hood. He's not even into it with these guys, and he's dissing this dead guy. And, you know, it all caught up with him eventually. But he was doing it for the money. He said openly, he said, look, when I started dissing dead dudes, that's when the bag started coming up. And, like, it's as messed up as it is, I kind of understand. You're coming from a, you know, real rough spot in Philly. You're trapping. You're risking your life to do all of these things. If you can chill at home and diss dead people and actually make a few thousand a month, I kind of get it. Even though it's very disrespectful, I kind of get it. You know, you are risking your life, but it's also like that's a way of you making actually legitimate money, as twisted as it is. But that's the day and age we're in.
YMW Melly. Damn, did he start back trial yet? I'm trying to think.
No, I think the trial got rescheduled for like 2025.
Damn.
Yeah, we were working on a whole story with that, man. We kind of put together a lot of stuff when the last trial was going on. And the plan was we were going to kind of basically wait for the verdict, put the verdict in at the end of the video, and then release, you know, the full thing with the conclusion. And then obviously it got declared into a mistrial, pushed into next year. So we're kind of waiting for that trial because the amount of people that have done YNW Melly video, but no one really knows. Did he do it? Didn't he do it? We need the verdict. We need to know what's going on. He's been in jail, what, 5 years awaiting trial? It's crazy.
Man, that was a sloppy crime if he did do it.
Hey, I've heard a lot of different stories about the situation, man. Look, I personally feel like I think he did it based on what I've seen, based on, you know, little bits of evidence, based on the way that he was behaving in the immediate aftermath, because obviously the situation went down and he was kind of still outside for a few months, kind of acting as if everything was normal, you know, and not really showing the love to, you know, his supposedly best friends that passed away. It kind of doesn't really add up. So, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes down for it. But just like in the Thug case, I think the way the trial and everything's been handled is a little bit iffy. So, you know, you never know. There's always a possibility that the prosecutor blows it.
I think Thug coming home.
You think Thug coming home? I think it's highly possible. I feel like the Thug King thing could go either way, because the thing is as well, it's really like one major murder that they're trying to put on him. It was from a long time ago.
Wife and nut.
Yeah, exactly. And they're trying to put the rental car on him, but it's a bit of a stretch. So I feel like Thug's thing could go either way, but I'll be honest, I don't think Melly's coming home. I think it's over with.
Yeah, Nut's from the hood in Atlanta. He from Inglewood family in Atlanta.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Because that's what's interesting is like there was that famous clip, I don't know if you remember it, from back in the day when Thug and Nut were good and they were chilling with Birdman, and Thug's saying, yo, I'm with Big Nut, this is one of the biggest bloods in America right here, like this guy's a real serious guy. They were all friendly for a bit, and obviously things went left. I think the one thing that's a little bit confusing to me, obviously I've covered the YSL versus YFN beef before Thug got arrested. It was never that clear to me exactly why Nut got killed, exactly what the beef was. You know, there's been a lot of rumors that he ran off with a pack, or that Thug had tapped him in with some other gangsters and things had gone left and there was a violation. I don't know. I feel like that's the thing that's missing, and it's a little bit difficult to think, where's the motive? You know, a minute ago Thug and Nut were cool. What happened? You know, you need a motive to prove a crime like that. And, you know, as it stands right now, I've not really understood exactly where the beef was or exactly why that situation went left. Obviously Nut did lose his life, which is unfortunate, you know, rest in peace.
Rest in peace to him.
But it's unclear to me exactly why that went down. So, and if the prosecution can't prove that properly, that shit might not go anywhere.
All right, and free wife and Lucci. I F with Lucci.
I'm a big fan of Lucci, man. I'm a big fan of his music. He's hard. I feel like it's such a shame that he got jammed up the way he did, but I'm hearing he's hopefully home soon.
Okay. Well, shit, man. Give me all your handles, man, so where they could find you at. Any updates? What you got coming next?
For real, man.
Let us know everything right now.
Appreciate that, man. I'm Trapl Ross on YouTube. I got a couple channels. I'm Trap More Ross. That's my second channel for the kind of little updates, you know, the more obscure pieces of content. I got Trapl Clips, which is my clips channel. So if you want a little 10-minute, a little soundbite, a little quick bit of history, you got Trapl Clips. I'm Trapl Ross on Instagram, man. Follow me up. And I'm just excited, man. We've got more documentaries coming. We've got the YBC Duel Philadelphia documentary coming. About to do something on the Bloods and Crips out here, interviewing a lot of interesting people. After that, might cook up a couple more, you know what I'm saying? I'll keep a couple secrets, but we got some big... Actually, I'm doing something on New York. Got something on the Bronx rappers coming. So yeah, man, it's exciting stuff. I can't wait to show you guys what we're working with. But a big thank you to Munchie for having me, man. It's been a blessing.
Hey, no, I appreciate you pulling up, man. And everybody tap in with the Richard Hart podcast and everything on this Street TV channel. You can find this Google, Spotify, iHeart. You know, so I'll be off on Amazon, Alexa, play Richard Hart podcast. We everywhere you can click, bro. I want everybody to, you know what I'm saying, tap in on Tap Out, man. It's the Richard Hart podcast, and good looking again, Trap, for pulling up, man.
Appreciate you, man.
He DoorDashed the interview, man. Showing love.
Come on.
All right, well.